Are you looking for a sideline against the Sicilian defense when you play with white colors and you want to avoid the mainstream theory and still get a solid position? Well, this game then may interest you. Now, if you have time to invest, I would definitely recommend studying Open Sicilian. I think that is the most critical try to get an advantage with white colors. But if you are not willing to dedicate that much time and you want to avoid here the theory, this line might actually be interesting and has been seen on the high level quite a bit. White player, we have Richard Rapport versus black Jorge Cori. Now, Richard has been a second of Dingliren at his World Championship match against Jan Nepomniachtchi, and a black player, Jorge Cori from Peru, has touched the 2700 mark, I believe, or has gotten very close to it. I think he was 2680 or 90. Now, Richard Legend himself, this game was played at the Olympiad 2024, going right now in Budapest, Hungary, as we speak. Let's get to the game. Richard starts with e4, Jorge responds with c5, knight to f3, d6, and d4. We are headed towards the mainline Sicilian, but no, not knight takes d4, queen takes d4. That is going to be the topic of our interest in this video. Now, attacking the queen makes a lot of sense with knight c6, and white retreats queen on e3. The main line so far has been bishop to b5, pinning this knight, and then if bishop d7, probably retreating queen back after that, or even trading immediately on c6. All right. However, Richard's idea is a little different. He moves queen to e3 immediately. Now, black develops their knight to f6. White also develops their knight on c3. What is black going to do now? They want to get this dark squared bishop out. It has to happen either with e6 or g6. Black decides to fianchetto bishop on the long diagonal. h3. Now, a very interesting move here. Prophylaxis against going to g4. Now, you may ask, but what happened with the fundamental opening principles where you do not want to make pawn moves this early on, and also you do not want to get your queen out this early in the game? And queen has actually made two moves already. Queen takes d4 and then queen on e3, right? Well, that is a modern theory, and with white you can get away with a lot of things if you know what you're doing. All right, but that's a very important if. All right, if you actually understand the position. So let's try to do just that. So black plays bishop g7, and now white wants to finish the development of the king side. So where to develop this bishop? Well, bishop comes on c4, securing also this d5 square. So black is not going to be able to play and break in the center. Short castle, a6. Now black tries to get the counterplay of their own going on the queen side with b5. So white plays a4, says not so easy, tiger. Bishop d7, and another move here that I think establishes white's dominance of the center. Rook to d1, bringing the rook on the open file. White had played these weird moves, but they met all the criteria that they wanted to meet, which was develop your king side, do not allow opponents counterplay on the queen side, try to control the center. That is more or less the goal of all Sicilians, pretty much. I know this queen right now is in a weird situation here, blocking the bishop on c1. Let's see how Richard handles that. Rook goes to c8, queen goes to e1. All right, queen has done its job on e3. Now it is time to let this bishop get out. queen goes to a5. Another very interesting move here from Richard, rook to a3. This move is by no means necessary. There could be other moves played, for example, bishop to d2, one of them, for example, threatening knight d5, since black just played queen a5. Also, a very reasonable move, I think, would be retreating this bishop back to f1 so it doesn't stand on the x-ray there. But Richard's idea is a little different. He wants to play rook a3 and I believe tuck this bishop back on a2 when it gets attacked. And rook will be useful on the third rank. Very high intelligence move. Knight goes to e5. Knights are traded in the center of the board. Queen takes e5, and as we said, now bishop is gonna retreat on a2 to remain on this active diagonal. Black plays bishop e6, basically saying if you insist staying on that active diagonal, I will trade it for my bishop. f4, attacking the queen. Now computer does not like this move, says that this loosens white position quite a bit. Queen goes to c5 check, bishop e3, attacking the queen back, and now queen retreats to c6. I think a very reasonable try also here would be moving the queen on a5, but if black wanted to go to a5, probably immediately without initiating bishop e3 would make more sense. Now bishop takes e6, pawn takes e6. This position is probably right around equal. I actually do not like this f4 here now. Overextension. I think pawn on f2 would make more sense in this scenario. But Richard's idea was different here. He wants to go e5. A very dynamic decision here to weaken his own pawn structure in the center. Now e5 pawn is gonna become a weakness, but he wants to balance this dynamically, okay, with activity. Let's see if that comes in fruition. D takes e5, f takes e5, knight retreats back to d7. Probably the first inaccuracy of the game here. Computer suggests that going to h5 would be a better idea, but well, bishop goes to d5. Apparently not that much better really, because now if you take, knight takes d5, and this knight in the center of the board is going to be a very powerful piece, threatening the royal fork on e7, so you have to do something about that, and then g4 traps the knight in the corner. So maybe not to h5. What if knight goes to e8? Same thing, knight would land on d5, and white still maintains the little grip here, but after takes, queen takes c2. We will see what happened in the game when knight was on d7 and this line happened on the board. White had the ability to play e6, attack the knight on d7, and then basically weaken the black's king position by a lot. So knight e8 would be slightly preferred, but after bishop d4 here, apparently white would still enjoy the initiative for the cost of a pawn. Computer gives this as 0.4, so not that much really. All right, so black commits to this little inaccuracy, knight d7, now knight d5 comes with a lot of power here, attacking the e7 pawn. If black was to play a rook to e8, there is a rook to c3, trapping the queen in the center of the board. Well, almost trapping it. Now black would be able to take this pawn, but that would allow rook c8, trading rooks, and then fork, winning the rook. All right, on the next one, like bishop takes e6, then knight takes c8. So this is a game over. So black is pretty much forced to capture the knight back. White captures with the bishop, and now bishop pair with the open board will be very dangerous. Queen takes c2, again forced, e6, and as we said in the previous comment, now this knight is under attack, so e6 come with the tempo, and black now will have difficulties here securing the king. Obviously black would not be able to capture there. Bishop takes e6 with the check, winning the knight, so knight has to move away to e5. Now a very nice touch here, not taking the pawn immediately, but going rook d2, attacking the queen first, asking the black question, what are you going to do with your queen? Where is that queen going to go? Black says, I'm gonna go queen c1. Why is that a big deal? Now white takes the pawn on f7, and point being that if black was to capture knight f7, then bishop captures f7, and now however you capture this piece back with the rook, for example, or the king, white will have a discovered attack with the rook, checking the king, and then bishop will take the queen and pretty much win the game. And a very nice touch by Richard here. Slight detail, but makes the game conversion much more efficient. All right. In the previous line, knight takes f7 now would be a possibility, and if rook d2, then this queen would go back to c7. All right. After rook d2, queen c1 happens on the board, takes on f7, king moves on the side. Now, if you did not take my pawn on f7, rook back to d1 with the tempo, attacking the queen, and white's position is already very comfortable with two bishops and the initiative still going. White pieces will simply outpower black counterparts now. Rook to b3, hitting this b7 pawn while attacking the queen. Queen goes to c2, rook takes the pawn, also attacking the e7 pawn. I thought bishop f6 would probably be the move here, but let's say bishop e6, white's initiative is still under no question. So black plays rook c to d8, rook takes e7. Now above everything else, white also has an extra material. Black could capture the pawn on f7, but they chose to go with the a4 pawn, and now that is going to fasten the matters here by a lot. Bishop to b6, attacking the rook. Rook has to move away. Bishop slides back to c5, attacking the rook. And next, if rook moves away, rook takes e5, wins the material here. Bishop will be attacking the rook on f8. Obviously, you cannot capture because queen e5 is going to be a checkmate. So Jorge decided to call it a day. Now, I understand this queen to e3 move is related to few lines, basically not nearly as much as the open Sicilian, but that does not mean that, oh, I don't need any studying. I would definitely recommend still taking a look at few moves, few possible moves from black. What are some of them? What do I do if they play g6 immediately? Now, do I go bishop e2? I think that is a very reasonable alternative here immediately, because there is no bishop h6 attack. There will be queen c3 attacking this rook on h8. All right, hope you enjoy it. Have fun exploring it more in the opening database. If you are not using that, any platform pretty much has the opening database inbuilt. If you are not signed up for the membership, I have the link. I do get an affiliate commission there for the disclaimer, but it does come with a lot of useful stuff. You can also do drills and other training tools. All right, get out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think about the Queen D4 Sicilian.